Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making it. My name is Anya Braun, and on my channel we talk about Black businesses, artists, entertainment, and information. And today we are going to be doing, oh my god, what's on my mouth? Hold on, wait a minute. Today we are going to be doing a anti-MLM video, one of our faves, and we are going to be digging back into the dun T scam TLC, otherwise known as Total Life Changes, and their beef that has just come out with, if you are familiar with the Dancing Dolls, coach of the Dancing Dolls reality show, dance like team competition, kind of like Dance Moms, but for Black girls too in the South, and Coach D. So Coach Diana versus Coach Stormy, and we already know, if you haven't already seen, a lot of great background info to see will be my video linked down below. My other TLC video where I really deep dive it. It's like an hour long. I talk about Coach Stormy. I talk about the owners of the company. There are some definite interesting racial remarks that have been made, and just generally MLMs are a scammy business practice, so it doesn't take a neurosurgeon to see that people are getting taken advantage of. Let's jump right into it, but before we do, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, because guess what? We just hit another milestone, 900 subscribers. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. As you all know, I'm on the road to trying to get monetized, so maybe I could like get a real camera or get like a computer that I could film on, because right now I film and edit everything on my phone. So love that for me. Let's get right into this video. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, I'm Anya Braun Beauty, and on TikTok we are about to hit 100K at AAB Beauty over there as well. So it's just, you know, it's all going, it's up. It's up. What did the W5 girl say? To the moon. Rocket ship emoji. Love that for them. Also, I did a wash and go today, but I kind of used like a little bit less product. And why do I think that it kind of worked better? So yeah, it's gonna be, I have to, you know, like kind of keep it up so that it doesn't get too flat at the top. But yeah, it feels pretty good. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so this is about the live that Coach Diana did about essentially why she's leaving TLC and about her beef with Stormy and the other people involved that she felt made it a business practice that she could not stand behind. Now, a couple things I would like to get out of the way. One, Coach Diana, I do believe, is going to be doing, I'll have to look, moving to a new MLM. I do think that that is a thing. This was not a stance against MLMs. This was not an anti-MLM stance. This was a stance specifically against Coach Stormy, the way that the leadership was being run in this specific MLM. She said that she did really like the products, which I mean, I guess is neither here nor there. But I don't think that she is done in the MLM world. I will say I think that she, much like many other people, are moving to financial MLMs, which is really unfortunate considering she, like I said, has a team of all Black girls. I'm sure an audience of mostly Black people and Black women. And it's just obviously not good to see someone knowingly or unknowingly take advantage of their following or the people who are fans of them for monetary gain, especially when that's not the agreement that is happening. You know what I mean? Like, that's why it's a scam, because the agreement is not, oh, you're just going to give me money and it's going to support my lifestyle. The agreement is, I'm going to sell you a lifestyle, you're going to buy into it, and then you don't make any money, you lose money, but I still gain money. Like, that's not how this is okay. Like, I would just like that to be out in the open first and foremost, okay? Because I don't agree with that, period. But these are my notes for the live that Coach D was on. That she, you know, she had like many points or whatever. Towards the end, she starts to talk about the show that they're on. It's, and once I can figure out how to do a reaction video, like where it's like in the screen, then that will be when I would love to react to that show. I don't know what it is, something millionaire or something that Coach Stormy has, because apparently Coach D was on that and there was drama with that and whatever, which like also, you already have your own reality show. Like, of course she's using it for clout. Like, she's using everyone. Like, that's how this is how it works. It's a scam. These ain't scammers. These is hoes. So I'm just going to go through my points. If you would like to, I will have the full length live linked down below. And shout out to whoever it was that recorded all of that. Thank you very much. These are my notes. Let's just start at the top and see what I had to say. Coach D versus Coach Stormy TLC. Oh, this first note says that Coach D's husband walks out when she says, and when I say she, I mean Coach Stormy says she's making $5,000 a week. He's probably thinking, this shit is a scam, and he would be correct. And this is after only being in the business for a month. which is like also not a good sign. And this was, I guess, in January. My note here says, I like this husband, LOL. In quotes, that's not what we stand for. Because now he was telling her, he was telling Coach D, like, that's not what we stand for. This shit is, like, not okay. But he was basically saying, like, we don't stand for that in the sense of, like, bragging to other people, you know, like, trying to sell a lifestyle kind of thing, not, like, scamming. So that is very interesting. I mean, I'm sure that was part of his pitch, but she can't really include that. If she's, you know, moving to another MLM, like, that wouldn't really serve her. But long story short, her husband the whole time was like, this is not a good idea. This is a fucking sham. And these people are just not good people. Like, it's not the vibe. Stop! So, let's see. Okay, so she says that April 2020 was her first beef with, I guess, Coach Stormy. Diana claims to have no beef with the CEO people, the owners of the company, which I do. But, I mean, that's her business, I guess, once again. It's so interesting for her, as we'll go through it, all the things that she points out to be problems are, yeah, huge problems, but it's a problem with the system, not a problem with this company or the people who are running it. Like, these are all of the people, this is across the industry, because it's not an okay business practice, not necessarily the people inside of this one business happen to be shitty. So this is a prime example of someone in an MLM trying to get a person who's another well-established person in their community and nationally, once again, has a television show about her, literally, and her job, and encouraging them to leave their real legitimate business that has, like, brick and mortar, like you own a dance studio, to focus on an MLM. She's like, first of all, that was never my focus. You were never going to come before this thing that I've been, like, building for 20 years, which good for her, because some people don't, you know, some people will give up an actual business or an actual opportunity because they're being sold this dream. And it just so happened to be that it doesn't necessarily work on her the same, on Diana, because she is a person who already has money. She's already got money. So the selling a lifestyle can only go so far. And that's kind of where I feel like it got messed up. I had to adjust the light a little bit there. Let me know if this is any better. Okay, so we left off at them being like, are you actually really serious about this business, or are you not? Because we want you to quit your other job, which is obviously, as we know, a huge thing. Isolation in terms of cult-like behaviors in certain companies. I don't know why I wrote this, but it says wants cult members to give up their money. Duh. Which, yeah, I mean, that just sounds about right. Like, that's pretty much all I've got to say about that. Next is May 2020 is the second beef. That's when Diana's website got shut down. I guess her TLC website got shut down because there were some parts, we missed out on some parts because it was muted. But I guess maybe she wasn't doing what she was supposed to be doing. She wasn't, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was an error or something, but she said that her website was shut down. Other people's websites were running just fine. What is the problem? She's not understanding. She's asking Coach Stormy. Coach Stormy's not really helping her because, okay, what does she give a fuck? Like, you're paying monthly, right? Okay, perfect. June of 2022. That's, like, not even happened. June of 2020 is when the third beef occurred. And that is when the dollhouse had to shut down. I wrote a sad face here because I think that she was saying that they had some sort of, like, big flood, I think, and there was all kinds of water damage. And so, unfortunately, she had to shut the dollhouse down, which she did not want to do, which I feel so bad for. That's obviously such a huge pillar. She said that she's been working on that for 20 years. Like I said, like, it's a long-standing established business. And that really sucks when something like that just happens, like water damage. Like, that's so fucking random. And, like, that's the last thing we want, is especially to see a Black-owned business fall down, literally crumbling, because she's got to spend so much money on expenses to fix it. Then she said, quote, Mr. Fallon got on there and said what he said, and I don't know what he said, but I'm wondering if it is the same person from the end of the last video about the All Lives Matter situation. I mean, June 2020, that sounds about right, because then she's talking about, he got on there and said what she said. Like, that's all that she said about it, but I'm like, that's what he said? Like, and not necessarily wanting to be associated with that, but I'm like, you are associated with that when you're actively making them money, and they are also taking money from you and your community, like right now, like literally. Oh yeah, it was, because it said June 2nd, it says the Black Lives Matter, business is going down. And yeah, that's when the Mr. Fallon said what he said. So, right. Okay, great. Now we're moving on to November of 2020 as well. They've got a trip to the Dominican Republic, which this was, I guess, one of the free trips, which we already know is not free. But Coach Diana did not end up ranking. She did not end up hitting that qualifying rank in order to gain the free trip. So she decided, once again, because they already have money, that she was just going to pay for her own way to get there anyway, because she was still going to hang out with her friends who were part of the company, right? Sounds pretty, okay, fine, normal, and not that crazy considering the people who did meet the ranks still had to pay for things to get there anyway. It was not a free all-inclusive trip with travel and everything like that. So how much of that did you miss out on? Not really anything. So she says that she was a global director before all of this was, I guess, her rank in June. But in June is when she lost it all, because essentially because of her association with Coach Stormy, because Coach Stormy does not have the greatest reputation for, one, I guess, scamming people, two, not being maybe that great of a person. I don't know this person personally. These are all public figures. This is just, we're only making our own opinions off of the facts, or off of, not even the facts, just off of what's been presented to us by them through social media. So she did make a note that, once again, nobody paid for anything of hers in order for her to get there to the Dominican Republic. And she said that the big selling point was that Chris Brown was going to be there. And apparently he's a part of the company, and they were going to be celebrating him hitting $1 million in the company. Is going to be a celebration, which I have right here, insert Chris Brown rant. We do not fuck with Chris Brown. Could you... Making me sick. Coach D gets there to the Dominican Republic, and she's there with her husband waiting in their hotel room. They are waiting for this celebration to begin. You know, she's waiting, she's texting people, like telling them where are we going to be at, what time we're going to be there, when is the celebration happening, how are you getting there, all the normal things you would ask your group of girlies. Well, shocker, they ignore her. Dun dun dun. Coach Stormy apparently ignores her text messages or her calls or whatever, and instead Coach D can see that Coach Stormy is on live, and everyone in their group is together except for Coach D. Which, oh my God, the cattiness, the behavior. Are you 3 years old? Coach D paid her own money to get there just because she wanted to be with you guys, not because of anything else, but because she didn't have the status, which is quite literally the rank, which is equivalent to how much money you are able to give to your upline. They treated her like shit. And once again, she's already a wealthy reality star, business owner, successful woman with lots and lots, I'm sure millions of fans. So if they're treating her like this, if her upline is being cliquey with her and won't invite her to the literal reason why everyone is there, because she didn't rank advance, even though she just came there anyway because she wanted to be your friend, because you're selling this life and this personal connection, but you don't actually mean the personal connection. You only want to use them in order for your own monetary gain. People have problems with that. In response, Coach D's husband was like, fuck them. And I'm like, yeah, duh, it was fuck them from the beginning, to be honest, because they were never your friends. They were not there for you. That's, if there's anything that I can tell someone in MLM, first of all, stop giving this company money. Do not convince people to join under you if you have not already had success. Because it doesn't work, because you have to pay to work. How many times do I have to say this? You don't pay to work. Do not pay to work. Do not pay to work. Do not pay to work. So I'm right there once again with Coach D's husband, because fuck those bitches. And if that was my wife, or if that was me, I would have said the same thing. Like, that's not okay. That's not nice. It's just not nice, but it's also just not even, it's actively inconsiderate, because this wasn't a house party. This is not like Real Housewives drama when it's like at someone's house or whatever. It's like 30 minutes away. Okay, great. We're going to go there. No, like, you knew that she flew there. It wasn't like a coincidence and you all happened to be together without her. You knew that she was there in a whole different area of the world, and yet still went out of your way to exclude her from the only reason that she was there, the only event reason. Like, she said, Coach D said that it hurt my feelings to sit there and watch them sing to Chris Brown, which, first of all, as we already know, I do not fuck with Chris Brown. But also, I do feel very bad for Coach D. And then my other note here, yeah, it was exactly what I said. If Coach D felt like an outsider for not having ranked up enough, then imagine how the normal non-rich people feel in these MLMs. Yep, same thing. It says you're an outcast if you don't rank up because the amount of people you recruit makes your upline money, and that's really all that they care about. They're not really there for these sisterhoods that they say they are if you're not making them money, you know? Now we move on to March. There's a Las Vegas retreat, and Coach D said that she did not want to go, but she still did. Why? I have in here in parentheses because, child, why? Literally. Don't go. I feel bad, and I feel like it's just like she just wants to be their friend, or she's still kind of under the assumption that they want to be her friend when she's been shown on multiple occasions that they don't actually care about her. And that's a really sad thing to see, especially between Black women, communities of Black women. I don't want to see people get taken advantage of, and I don't want to see people take advantage of each other, period. Then she said, now at this trip, it's more exclusionary bullshit. Those are my words, not hers. Not allowing certain people in pictures because they, I guess, don't have, once again, the status that they should, whether that's an actual rank, like legitimately in their company. It's all about the facade. It was always about the facade. It's always about selling the lifestyle, because the lifestyle is what gets you more people underneath you and more people underneath you and more people underneath them, etc., 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 until you're able to have everyone in the world underneath you and I guess have world domination and actually be able to make a livable wage in an MLM. At about 26 minutes into this video, we now talk about stacking. So she was saying how basically they were like playing favorites, right? Because Coach Stormy has the ability to, she knows a lot of people. She's got a fuck ton of people in her downline. So she can move people around, have people join under certain people, which will further increase their rank, because you're better off when you're the upline, let's say. You're better off building your team down in depth than you are out in width. So the more people who you have directly under you is not as good as having one person who's under you, and that person has one person under them, and that person has one person under them. And Coach Stormy would call this building people's business, she says. That's what Coach D says. Which is just, like I said, stacking, putting certain people under certain people so that way you get the maximized amount of bonuses for recruitment. And basically she was talking about how she was watching other people get stacked while she had asked for help. She said that she's been asking for help over and over again, like, my business is not doing well, tell me what I need to do better. Like, Coach Stormy, you're supposed to be there to help me. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of the quote unquote leaders of these companies, is you're supposed to be able to actually provide some sort of tangible information that will help people quote unquote build their business. However, that's not possible, because the goal is not for as many people as possible, or even just for many people at all, to build their business. The goal is for the people who are the toppest uplines to get as many people underneath them as possible in order to make as much money as possible. So it doesn't really matter. Like, for example, Coach Stormy can say anything that she wants to say to you in order to keep you in the business. It doesn't matter if her selling point on that is you personally building your own business. You know what I mean? So Coach D keeps asking for help. She's like, I need you to help me. Like, I need help for my team. Like, my team is not doing well. My team is failing, essentially, because that's how it has to work. That is the structure, which is what I would like Coach D and all these other top leaders to understand, is that you're never going to be able to put someone in the position that you are in unless they have the exact same number of people underneath them that you do, and they are either famous with a huge following already or got in early to the MLM. But so she's asking for help, and the T is that there is no help. There is no information to give. Like I said, who gives a fuck about you building your team? All I have to do is tell you that you'll build your team. I don't have to actually build it, because that doesn't matter to me. That's just my point here, is that there is literally no information to give. It's literally just recruit or get out. Say whatever you got to say to recruit. That's it. Towards the end of this video, Coach D says how you quote unquote like couldn't tell her nothing about this company. She always repped them, and it wasn't until she got in deep enough that she couldn't handle the people who were leaders of the company. And this does not include the CEOs, she says. This includes the quote unquote leaders, aka the top leaders of the company, the top ranks, top income earners. And it's really sad to me that it's a prime example that you are definitely not alone. If you are feeling alone, if you're feeling isolated, if you are feeling the toxic positivity, if you're feeling like you're not actually gaining any real information from being in your MLM, that would be true, because it doesn't matter if they give you real information or not. You may learn some things. If you know nothing, for example, about growing a social media following, and they tell you that you should use trending sounds, then that's okay, sure, fine information, but it's not information that can't be learned anywhere else. And it is easily, readily available. Anything that you would like to know, you do not have to go to an MLM for. Any product that you would like to buy, you do not need to buy it from an MLM. That is all that I have for you today. That was quite a lot. Like I said, I would love to be able to do some reaction type videos where you can actually see it on the screen. I would have loved to have been able to do it for this one. Don't join a fucking MLM. They take advantage of people. There's a 99% chance that you will lose money or make no money. And considering you do have to buy in to join, that does likely mean lose money. So if you don't want a black woman to get scammed, then maybe share this video or at least subscribe to the channel. And like this video, leave a comment, let me know if anything here was relatable to you. Let me know if you watched the first video, and it's very interesting. Take a guess, if you haven't seen already, what the next MLM will be that Coach D and I guess all the other people are joining. So yeah, that will be it. Have a great day, have a great life, do what it is that you do, and follow me for more. Bye!